What's up, y'all? It's Kirsten from Path to Summit LLC, a virtual project management firm that provides project staffing, project guidance, and creates PMOs for organizations all over the globe. The gig economy is in full swing, which means contractors are ripe for the picking, y'all. With so many options for YouTube editors, bookkeepers, graphic designers, how do we keep them all organized in a spot for repeat work and easy reference? Today, I'm going to show you how to make one board in Monday.com that organizes all of your contractors, including their rating, work that they perform, hourly rate, location, time zone, much more. Come on, let's jump in. I'm going to start by creating a new board. I'm going to call it Contractors List. I'm going to make this private to myself because I'm going to have some financial information that I don't really want visible to everyone. I can always change that later if I need to. Next, I'm going to set up some columns. For now, I'm going to use the item name actually as the contractor's name. The next column that I want to set up is a numbers column. This is where I'm going to put their hourly rate. I'm going to update the date column to hire date. I'm going to delete the person column. I'm also going to delete the status column. Next, I'm going to add a text column for role or title. Next, I'm going to scroll down to more columns when adding this column, and I'm going to add a location column. In the next column, I'm going to add a ratings column. I'm just searching for ratings up here, and I'm clicking on the rating column to add to board. This way, I can actually rate the interaction or the experience that I had with each contractor. In the next column, I'm going to add a last updated column. Search for last. Here it is, add to the board. I'm adding this column because I want to know the last time that I updated the information on this specific contractor. I'm going to add another column. This column is specifically going to be to outline their time zone. By entering in time up here, world clock comes up. I'm going to add that to the board. Next, I'm actually going to delete this column that's for hire date because I've decided, you know what? Why don't we just make a created date? So each time an item is created or a contractor comes on board, it'll just put that date in there. Let's search more columns. Creation log, add to board. Let's start with these columns and start filling out our contractors and see what other columns could be useful. I'm going to highlight everything in each of these groups, and I'm going to go ahead and delete those items. Let's start entering in our contractors. As you can see, I entered in Kirsten Eby, myself, and it will show June 2nd today as the creation date. It'll show that it's created by me on today's date and the specific time. Hourly rate, let's enter that in. As you can see, it's just a number currently. What we can do is click on the three dots to the right of the column name, click on settings next, customize numbers column. Let's turn this into $1. Click on the $sign, click off. Role, title. Project manager. Location, I'm going to type in New Orleans, Louisiana. Star rating, obviously a 5. World clock, I type in US/Central, there it is. And it's going to populate the time that it actually is within the United States Central Time Zone right here. I'm going to rearrange these a little bit. I want the title right after the name of the contractor. Here's the hourly rate. Here's the location. I want to put the time of that location right next to it. And then I want the rating here. Let's add a few more contractors. I'm going to go ahead and pause this recording while I load up more contractors in this top group right here. I've loaded up some contractors here in this top group. I have added their role, their title, their hourly rate, their location. I've added where they are in the world. I've added what time it is where they are located. I've added some ratings. And as you can see, this is the last time I've updated it. It automatically does that with that type of column, as well as it shows automatically the date and time and who created this item. Now that I'm seeing these all together, I'm going to actually add another column that's going to tell us if they are active, as in actively working for us, or not active. Right here, I'm going to add a column. I'm going to choose status. I'm going to click on one of the gray squares and I'm going to edit the labels. I'm going to change the done label to active. I'm going to change the red to inactive. To make things easy for now, I'm just going to delete the working on it label or the yellow label. And now I'm going to click off so that it is applied. Now that we have the active and non-active, I think that's a really great way to categorize my current contractors that I'm utilizing on projects right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this group title to active, and I'm also going to change the color of it to match the active label. I'm going to go back and change the column label to status. And now I'm going to take this group title and put inactive. I'm going to change the color to red. Before I go through and assign inactive or active, I'm actually going to create an automation that sorts them automatically. We're going to click on Add Custom. So when the status changes, the status column changes to active, I want to move the item to the group active. Let's create the automation. Best practice. Always create a description at the top. Status equals active, move to active group. I do this because eventually this board might have 20 to 30 automations. So let's create another automation for inactive. What we can do to easily do that, let's click on the 3 dots to the side of this automation. Let's duplicate it. But when status changes to inactive, let's go ahead and move it to the group inactive. Create automation. Let's go ahead and copy the description on this one, paste it to the description of the one we just made, update it a little bit to say inactive instead of active. Great. Let's exit out of our automations. And now let's go through and choose some people. I'm just selecting them to the left, and I'm going to choose inactive. As you can see, this automation moved those selected and changed statuses to inactive to the inactive group. I'm going to hit escape to uncheck. And now what we can do is choose everyone in this group of active and call them active. Now, the way that I have this set up is pretty basic. There are definitely some ways that we can improve it. Before we add more columns and potentially more views, I want to make a note that right here, we can hover over this comment section and we can keep running notes on this particular contractor. Steve did an amazing job on our project template in Smartsheet, as well as integrating Slack for the notifications. So we can keep some notes going right here, and it will outline who added that note as well as when. Another column that would be really helpful is a category of work. So what do I mean by that? Maybe a department. What I'm going to do is create a status. I'm going to call it category. I'm going to click on the gray box again, and I'm going to edit these labels. I'm going to change this top one to a dark green, and I'm going to call it finance. I'm going to change the next one to pink, and I'm going to call it marketing. I'm going to change this next one to yellow, and I'm going to call it operations. I can come back and add new labels, apply different labels, change them around, but I'm going to start with those 3 first. Based upon these titles right here, I'm going to categorize them. I'm going to start with finance. So bookkeeping is finance. I'm going to click finance for Judy, and we are all set there. I'm going to consider Smartsheet as an ops thing. Project management, I'm going to just label those individuals as ops. Great. I'm going to hit escape. And then everyone else, I'm just going to put under marketing for now. There we go. So now I have all these different categories of people as well, which is nice. And you know what? I think I'm going to actually pull that right next to the hourly. I'm also going to trim down this hourly column because I like to see everything that I can in one page if at all possible. There's a couple of different views that we can implement that makes this easier. Clients that I work with have lists of hundreds of contractors, and breaking this up into different views by category could be very helpful for them. For example, if I wanted to see the marketing contractors, I would add a view up here next to the main table, and I would add a table view. I would rename this marketing contractors. This is all of the information. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose to filter where category is marketing. Save that to this view. This makes it a lot easier to go in and say, you know what? I have these 3 people, so a UX, UI, email marketing, and graphic design. I need another graphic designer. Who do I have that I could choose from. Let me go ahead and sort. We could get Ian in here. We could get Jan if either of those two are available. Right now I have their last posted hourly rate and I have their ratings. Because Jan looks higher rated, I may want to start with Jan if her hourly fits my budget. I could go ahead and reach out to Jan and get a conversation started. Speaking of reaching out, let's go back to our main table and add another column. We don't even have their contact information in here. What? So let's go ahead and add another column. Because these contractors are international, I'm going to go ahead and add an email. As you can see, email is not right here. Let's click on more columns. Let's search email. Add to board. Now we can add their individual emails right here. We could even create an integration with our email account so that each time that Steve emails, it could be added, or we could choose to add that communication right here in their updates. And that's simply adding the emails and activities to the specific item views center. Another view that could be helpful is adding a view that shows us 4 stars and above for the rating. Let's add a new table and rename it High Rating. Go ahead and use that same methodology to filter out where rating is 4 or 5. Save it. Now we have another view that shows just our highly rated contractors. There you have it, a super easy way to keep track of all of your contractors. As the list grows, you can divvy it up into different views and keep track of people in different ways. There are so many integrations and automation that you can create with this board. For example, you can add a form view. If contractors are interested in working with you, they could fill out that form. So then you don't have to do it manually. Be sure to follow us for more Monday.com tutorials. See y'all soon. Have questions? Comment below. We actually respond. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our Path to Summit channel for more project management tips, tricks, and software tutorials.